Our mission team is going to Pamplona, Spain here in April. There's a group of 9 of us. And while in Pamplona, we're going to do evangelistic English clubs. And we're also going to meet a gentleman there in the church who is Basque and try to reach out to that unreached people group.
I went to Italy in October of last year. And this year I have plans to go to Spain. What we did in Italy was English clubs. We're doing a very similar thing in Spain. So we're teaching college-age students how to speak English conversationally, and hopefully through those conversations we'll be able to have some great opportunities to share the gospel.
This April we're going to Croatia with a group of other believers to do childcare for a missionary conference.
We went to Croatia last year, which was our first time going on a missions trip with The Rock, and it was also our first big trip. We've been to Mexico a long time ago, but this was our first European mission.
This year, there's about 20 of us individuals who are going to Romania, outside of Cluj-Napoca, and we are going to have vacation Bible schools to 3 groups of Roma children, and to 1 group of Romanian children. And we're also going to be doing some practical work, a little bit of construction work around. And we're also going to be putting on a concert downtown and being able to share Christ's love with the people of Cluj-Napoca.
When I think about the Great Commission, it has this global element to it that I don't get to engage with in everyday life. So I'm excited about going on a mission trip because I get to engage with other believers from across the world, people that I would never meet otherwise, and really grow in my faith by aiding them and being inspired by them in turn.
There's something really special about going on a short-term missions trip. I know that when I participate in missions, I am participating in a principled quality of God, which that quality is like His arm that reaches out, it pursues, it leaves heaven and it goes to a foreign place. There's so much treasure in getting to participate in that.
There's just a huge need overall in Europe and in Spain for the gospel to go out. There is an increase in the number of believers, which is super encouraging over the last few years, but Spain, and particularly that northern area, is only about 1% evangelical Christians.
On one of my trips to Poland in 2008, it was then that a friend of mine, Paige Crosswhite, shared with me about children living on the streets of Romania. That is when God first broke my heart for the Roma people group, and that's why I continue to go.
I took a leap of faith last year in October going to Italy, and it pretty much changed my perspective on evangelism. I wanted to do that again this year in Spain. I want to give my time and my resources best as possible, and I feel like right now, me helping out with Spain this year, the Lord really provided for that to come into fruition.
The thing that stood out to me and was significant about going on a missions trip, just the profound impact of being in a concentrated environment for 10 days with the same people. I was so surprised by how deep those relationships would become with the team. When you add up all the hours, it's like 40 to 50 small groups. If you meet for 3 hours at your small group, is a great way to really grow deep with those relationships.
One of the biggest surprises going on a mission trip is how many people are interested in hearing about Jesus from the Bible. Many of them have an idea about who He is, usually from other denominational influences, but when they read the Bible or we share with them verses about Jesus, the true Jesus, a lot of people are very interested.
When my missionary adventures first began, I was really shocked, surprised about how much wealth that we in America have. And it's not just possessions, it's education, it's our self-worth, the ability to learn about God and about God's love, and we were rich. I wanted to be used by God, I wanted to be His hands and feet, but I needed to release the things that were in my life that kept me from doing that.
I think this mission trip changed me. I had never been like that far away, and so that unique perspective even of like God has always been in these other countries, but going there and seeing those people and seeing how they do relationship with God and seeing that God is there and He has always been there gives you just another piece of the puzzle. It gives you a glimpse of Him, and there's something really precious about that changes you forever.
Going on a mission trip allowed me to connect with other believers in a way that just wouldn't have happened otherwise. I think it's an environment that provides for uniquely deep fellowship.
Going on mission trips, I think for me has been just obedience to the Great Commission. Knowing that verse to go, and then how do I live this out, and having the opportunity to go overseas to live that out has been life-changing for me.
I think I realized through going to Italy that some of the best opportunities to share the gospel weren't in front of big crowds or a bunch of people, but individual personal conversations with the students over there. See 4 or 5 people come to know the love of Christ while we were there.
On my first flight to that orphanage, God gave me a life verse that guides me for the remaining days of my life here on this earth. And it comes from Proverbs 24:11. Rescue those who are being taken away to death. Hold back those who are stumbling to the slaughter. When I had looked into the innocent eyes of that 2-year-old boy on the streets of Romania, I realized that there is hope and that I wanted to be used by God to be His hands and feet to bring His love and salvation to the world.
For someone who's interested in going on short-term missions, I would say definitely pray about it. We really believe God's given the green light for everybody to go, but it's a matter of, is this the right time or is this the right location? Instead of asking God, should I go? I think He's saying, I want you to go, but is this right now? Is this the good time to go this coming year? For those who have jumped onto the mission trip for the first time, it's been really transforming for their faith, to grow in their faith, because they get to obey a lot of what the New Testament is telling us to do, to share our faith, meet new people, live it out cross-culturally. So I would say, pray about it, but go to those leaders of those mission trips and ask them, hey, I'm thinking about going, and be challenged by the opportunity to be able to go and serve Jesus in this way.